We begin with a look at the financial markets, and government missed its treasury bills target for the second time this year. According to auction results by the Bank of Ghana, the government recorded a 16% undersubscription of the sale of the short-term instruments. However, interest rates fell marginally on the yield curve. Here's more in this report.
The government T-bill target fell short by 935.2 million cedis. It was seeking 5.644 billion cedis, but got 4.08 billion cedis. Most of the bids came from the 91-day bill as 3.506 billion cedis, representing 74.47% of the total tendered bids. The 364-day bill, however, received bids worth 619.47 million cedis. The uptake was 500.5 million cedis. For the 182-day bill, the bids tendered were estimated at 582.8 million cedis. All were accepted. Meanwhile, interest rate fell slightly on the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day T-bill declined by only 14 basis points to 15.71%. The 182-day bill stood at 16.73% from the previous 16.92%. The rate on the 364-day bill, however, remained the same at 18.84%.
Well, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama has pledged to maintain the current stability of the cedi. He also revealed plans to introduce further measures to protect the currency from potential threats in the coming months. Here's more from the Monetary Policy Committee press conference.
The foreign exchange market, ladies and gentlemen, has continued to witness stability in recent months. And this has been aided by improved liquidity from remittance inflows and the domestic gold purchase program. The stability in the FX market is expected to remain, reflecting stronger reserve buffers and positive market sentiments.
The governor, the Bank of Ghana, also admitted that recent developments on the treasury bills market was a major factor in hiking the policy rate.
For us, one key variable is the inflation rate. And the rate where it is now at 23.1, it should have been somewhere around 17%, if I'm right, Director of Research, by now. So you see how much we have to cover to be able to stay on course. The Monetary Policy Committee considered these, and in our view, also looking at the liquidity injection that occurred last year, we need to get busy with those. The next reading for inflation will be critical, and we will be guided as to the future direction of policy.
Dr. Johnson Isiama also indicated that they will continue to monitor the market and take the necessary actions when needed to try and control inflation.
In other news, President John Mahama has promised to support the Muslim business community in creating more opportunities aimed at providing employment for the nation's youth. He acknowledged the efforts of the community, noting the establishment of entrepreneurship centers and businesses in various Muslim areas, and emphasized the need for government backing. President Mahama made the remarks during the Eid celebration thereby in Accra.
Our Muslim communities have made significant contributions to Ghana's development, and I would like to take this opportunity to commend you for your efforts. From education and healthcare to business and governance, the impact of our Muslim brothers and sisters is evident everywhere. Our Zongo communities remain centers of entrepreneurship, trade, and cultural enrichment. However, we must do more to ensure that the development in our Muslim communities is balanced and catches up with the rest of the country. We must invest in quality education for our children. We must improve healthcare facilities and create opportunities that will help our youth to achieve their full potential. Education remains the most powerful tool for change, and I want to encourage our Muslim youth to embrace it fully. Education is our opportunity for social mobility. Islam itself teaches us that seeking knowledge is a lifelong duty for every Muslim. The future of Ghana hinges on our ability to equip our young people with the right skills and the mindset to thrive in a constantly changing world.
In other news, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Shirley Ayokoboche, has underscored the need for government and leaders to look within themselves in boosting economic growth and development. She said this at the Leadership Conversation 2025 organized by the University of Gold Coast.
And I think that we all should now be looking within ourselves to see what we can do for ourselves. No country has been able to develop with aid or assistance because it is out of their own largesse that they will give you what they can. It's the same thing that we're seeing with US aid. We now have to look at what we can do, and it's only trade and investment that can pull us out of poverty and ensure our development. And that is why Commonwealth is looking at the trading and investment as a key way for us to develop our countries. I've talked about the different sizes of economies within the Commonwealth, and without that, it's going to be very difficult.
Now, a group of concerned indigents in the Tunnel of Fin Forest Belt has joined calls for the ratification of mining lease agreement between the government and the Ashanti Bauxite Limited. The agreement laid before the 8th Parliament is yet to be ratified for the mining of bauxite commenced within the Ninahin Forest Belt of the Ashanti region. The concerned group suspects attempts by the government to enter a new agreement. Nanaya Ojima was at a press conference and filed this report.
Concerned indigents include the Asante Kotoko Society, Asanteman Community Foundation, and Royal Society of Asante Researchers. They claim their checks indicate the agreement was archived, even though it is yet to be laid in Parliament.
Processes that were ongoing at a point, the paper that was pending for parliamentary ratification was in the archives. A ghost succeeded in taking it to the archives. So let's keep it at that point.
In 2019, a 3-round investor engagement by the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, GAIADEC, led to the choice of Rockshore as strategic investor ensued for the development of the integrated aluminium industry. The agreement signed between GAIADEC and Rockshore enjoined the investor to carry out exploration of Block B containing hills 4, 5, and 6 out of a total of 10 hills within the Inehini Mpasaso bauxite deposit. Subsequently, a joint venture company was to be formed with GAIADEC to execute Project 2, which is to develop a bauxite mine in Block B with a refinery solution. Spokesperson for the group, Charles Wilberforce Nyako, says further delay in the ratification will be a disadvantage to the communities in the catchment.
We are sending strong message in all humility to the government to see to the ratification of the mining lease agreement, which was laid in the 8th Parliament on the 16th July 2024 and still pending in the 9th Parliament, or not to bring any other group. Because if it has gone through all the processes with the technical team of government, GAIADEC is the technical team of government, and if they have gone through all that, up to the ratification point, we think that ratification must, whatever is holding it, must be taken away so that business can start.
By the agreement reached, GAIADEC holds 30% stake in the Asante Bauxite Limited and 10% as a carried interest, with the investor holding the rest. Aside from local employment, which was demonstrated at the prospecting phase, 3% of revenue will be paid to the communities for development. The group believes ratification for commencement will improve the local economy. The groups are willing to kick against any new arrangement that may further delay the operationalization of the Ashanti Bauxite Limited. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
Now, Acting Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sapong, is calling on public sector workers to enhance productivity as a key driver of the nation's economic growth. Speaking at the GRA's local food bazaar held to mark Ghana Month celebrations, Sapon emphasized the importance of hard work and urged citizens to actively contribute to activities that will foster the country's development. Here's more in this report. The bazaar was aimed at creating awareness and projecting some notable local meals as part of the Ghana Month celebration. After a round of sampling with some commissioners of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Acting Commissioner General Anthony Sapon explained the significance of the one-month-long celebration.
The place the Almighty God, or Allah, in His wisdom, decided to place us. And it's a month that should remind us that our forefathers toiled and struggled to build this nation for us, and it is our turn to make sure that we contribute our quota in building it for ourselves and also for the future. So one of the key lessons we should take from this celebration is that this is not just a month-long celebration, but everyday living and ensuring that we live for Ghana. We do things that will progress Ghana. And for us at GRA, we do things that will progress GRA, building a stronger bond as family, as colleagues, and working as a team to deliver on our mandate.
The Acting Commissioner General also used the occasion to wish the Muslim community a happy Eid and fruitful celebration.
Thank you very much. I wish you all the best, and particularly for our colleagues who are preparing for Ramadan. May Allah be with us, and may He see us through towards the end of our fasting period. Amen.
In a related development, the newly appointed Commissioner of Customs, Brigadier General Ashong Anan, has begun official duties after taking over from Brigadier General Ziblim last week. All right, you're watching the Marketplace Holiday Edition. We're taking a short break. We will be right back. Well, welcome back to the Marketplace. Now, in a bid to strengthen Ghana's oil palm industry, the Tree Crops Development Authority, TCDA, has completed a familiarization tour of 3 major oil palm processing companies in the western and central regions. The visit was to assess operations, discuss industry challenges, and explore strategies to boost local production. Here's a special report.
Ghana's oil palm industry has a rich history dating back to the early 20th century when it became a crucial part of the country's agricultural economy. In the early stages, smallholder farmers and local communities were at the heart of the industry, with most palm oil production being used locally for cooking oil and other household products. Over the years, the demand for palm oil has risen significantly, driven by both local consumption and the export market. The government has recognized this demand and the immense potential of the sector, implementing policies to boost local production. As part of efforts to assess operations, discuss industry challenges, and explore strategies to boost local production, the Tree Crop Development Authority has been visiting some key areas to understand the challenges of these local producers in the western and central regions.
I think this is the best model I've seen when it comes to end-to-end production. No waste at all. Right from plantations, right from the seed to the bunch, to the least waste being used and applied here. And you can see when you're talking about yield, the yield they are getting, I'm told is, the whole world, they are the best company producing yield from oil palm. And that's what I think many more companies, we expect more companies to come in and model this kind of factory we are seeing here. The number of people they are recruiting, almost 2,500 or so, and it's 24-hour shift. And this is what we are going to encourage more factories that will enable people to come here.
Benzo Oil Palm Plantation, Plantation Sokfinaf Ghana, and Chufu Oil Palm Plantations Limited. These companies play a crucial role in Ghana's oil palm value chain, contributing significantly to job creation and the government's 24-hour economy. Bensu Oil Palm Plantation currently produces approximately 87,000 metric tons and employs more than 2,000 people, making it a significant contributor to the local economy.
Bensu Oil Palm Plantation PLC it was incorporated in 1976, and it started as a joint venture between the government of Ghana and Unilever, then known as UAC. It happened in the era of the Champong regime that multinational companies that were intending to repatriate their block dividends and profits to their mother countries were encouraged. In fact, it was a policy here that they reinvested some of their monies in the country. Then they will be allowed to take the rest back. And that is what gave birth to this company. At that time, UAC had Lever Brothers factory, the producers of key soap and all the other things. And so palm oil is a very big raw material in the production of soaps and things like that. So UAC then decided to government, if you give me land, I'll go into plantation agriculture and produce palm oil to feed my factory. That is how this place began. So it actually began with government finding the land, and I'm emphasizing this because where we are at the moment, the kind of production and leverage and growth we need to get, government intervention cannot be overemphasized. The need for government intervention cannot be overemphasized. So they got the land from the chiefs and people and sorted out whatever with the necessary legal documents and title. And UAC then brought the capital and they started and developed this company. So this company was supplying all its palm oil to UAC for soap making and other products. Fast forward, government divested itself, sold its shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and that's how this company is listed. The rest of the shareholders include more than 10,000 individual shareholders and even institutional shareholders. Some insurance companies, financial institutions have shares here. SNIT, for instance, is a very key shareholder in this entity. And somewhere in 2011, Unilever also divested their shares, and the shares were bought by Wilmar Africa Limited, who are now the producers of Frytol. And Wilmar Africa is now the majority shareholder. They themselves are they're actually a subsidiary of Wilmar International, which is listed on the Singapore Stock Exchange. So this is how this company is. We have been advocates and practitioners of sustainable agriculture. So long before the issues of climate change and everything came up, we knew that we must protect our water bodies. We knew that forests must be protected. So we have all sorts of protocols that we apply, especially as enshrined in the principles of the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil. So globally, we are recognized as one of those companies that are operating with sustainable principles.
General Manager of Benso Oil Palm Plantation, Engineer Samuel Vala Awunia emphasized the need for stronger regulatory support from TCDA to ensure sustainable growth in the sector.
You see the smoke that is coming. That's a boiler using the waste or fiber that is actually waste product to fire a boiler, generate steam, and drive a turbine. So there's a 1 megawatt turbine there that is generating power to power the whole factory and our offices. And the power we use in this factory, 80 to 90% of it, we generate it ourselves. Do you get it? All from the oil palm waste. Do you get it? So that's an example of how sustainable our operations are. We also involve the community people. Now, initially, the size of our plantation land was 6,799. All of this was not planted at a go. There is 1,650 coming to about 25% of the concession was developed into a smallholder scheme and given back to the community people. So there are 438 households that are participants in this smallholder scheme. So you see how inclusive the project has been. So this is why we believe that at this juncture, where Ghana is still a net importer of palm oil with a deficit of about 150,000 metric tons of palm oil a year, which is equivalent to having about 6 of this company, 6 more of it, before we can move to import parity.
Chief Executive Officer for the Tree Crop Development Authority, Dr. Andiose Okra, said the visit underscores TCDA's strategic focus on boosting local production, improving quality standards, and ensuring long-term sustainability of Ghana's oil palm industry.
Many more young people want them to get into the oil palm industry. This is a place for them to come and they can have some hands-on training right from the technical aspect to the financial and managerial thing. I think best look at the environment. They don't even waste one nut. Everything is taken and everything is used on this compound.
At Plantation Sokfinaf, Ghana in the Boase Wasa East District, Dr. Okra observed firsthand the company's oil palm processing operations. PSG, which began operations in 2019, has rapidly become one of the leading palm oil processors and exporters in Africa with a processing capacity of 30 tons per hour. However,
all right, and that's our program, everyone. Thanks for watching. More news on our website, myjournalline.com/business. African governments must invest in Caribbean trade routes, according to Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Ayako there. Also, Treasury bills auction. We brought you that story. Government misses target for second time. Interest rates fall marginally. More news on our website, myjournalline.com/business. Happy Eid to our Muslim friends. We will be back same time tomorrow.